Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad to have you as always. Just a real simple breakdown video for all you guys that are considering mobile hunting this fall. If you're dipping your toes into the waters of saddle hunting, wondering which gear to get, what saddle, climbing method, all the tips and tricks, we're going to go through it all today with myself and Dad's complete mobile setup for you guys. Not a whole lot of videos out there where guys goes tip to tail on their setups, so we made this video for you. So guys, whoo, August in Georgia, it's humid. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so my complete mobile setup, as they say, from tip to tail, kind of going through the whole spiel of what to look for a mobile setup. If you're wondering what climbing sticks, once you get up in the tree, stuff to make your life easier if you're brand new to this, or maybe you're a seasoned saddle hunter and want to pick up some tips from other guys to set up. So that's why we go to these shows, network with you guys, and make videos like this so you can find out what exactly we're rocking with in the tree. So my climbing method is mostly centered around trophy line gear. So these are the Novix mini double steps, and you can see as Dad focuses on those is I did one of those sponge paint jobs to kind of mimic that Sitka, the whitetail camouflage. So really just against a tree, it really disappears. As you can see there, I've got my stick and also my camera arm we'll go over a little bit later, but this is the mini double. My climbing method on these, I really wanted to ditch the, as I get this cheater loop up here, I wanted to ditch the buckle system that these came with just because they're kind of cumbersome. You have to put those bicycle inner tubes over the buckles. It's kind of a trick we'll show you on my camera arm. But I ditched those and went with a set of Amsteel daisy chains. Now you guys, if you're in the mobile world at all, saddle hunting, you've heard of Amsteel. This stuff is thousands of pounds of breaking strength. So you're looking at this going, I'm going to climb a tree trusting this little piece of string. Now, trust me, do your research. This stuff's worth the money, and I can go to any tree. This thing goes to any tree. Of course, your favorite tree, or should be your favorite size tree, is a basketball size tree. So Dad'll get in more into that on his climbing method, but that's the mini double. I've got a cheater loop, what they call a one-step aider as you go up the tree. So this is my very first step to get that extra bit, probably an extra, 2.5, 3 foot if you really stretch them out. I can get up to not quite 20 foot. When I get on up there, especially with the camera arm, I kind of get, to where I want to be, and that's where I'm going to be at. But a lot of guys stretch these out. Great for packing. As you can see here, I'll show my backpack real quick. You can stack these on a backpack, so a lot more convenient than, trying to do a whole giant ladder section. You can do a preset, which is kind of what we do on our property, and a lot of guys are taking advantage of that as well. So having a climbing method that you trust, something lightweight, stackable, packable, and doesn't make a lot of noise with an attachment method is what I recommend. So you've got the Trophy Line EDP, which stands for the Everyday Platform. I like it because it's not a massive system. Again, I have a huge piece of 550 here, like an actual piece of 550 that I can attach to my saddle, because when I climb up the tree, I have to have this attached to me instead of having to winch it up in the dark. It's a mess. So my tip for my saddle platform is to have a piece of 550 cord or an attachment method of some kind to the back of your saddle going up the tree. Trust me, it is a game changer. So once you get this thing cammed over, obviously in the same cheap Krylon, rattle can sponge camouflage, this thing is built like a brick shit house, honestly, just to be quite frank with you. This thing is not going to be moving. I did retain the buckle here. There are some guys that use the Amsteel daisy chains as well. Personal preference, I like being rock solid up at the top of the tree, especially if I'm by myself or filming Dad, as you saw in the previous YouTube videos in the past. But I like this platform. I got a size 12.5, 13 boot. Another thing a lot of guys don't mention is if you have a big foot, like myself, I'm going to show you here. That's my croc. I can easily sit on this thing all day. I can cam this thing down. It tilts. For the money, this is a really, really nice platform. Of course, I'm not telling you either way. There's a ton of good options out there. But for my size foot, a lot of guys ask, what size platform do I need? This one, you can get away with it. It's a great option. You got a Versa button, attachment method. It's packable. I just carry it in if it's not on my backpack. Easy enough. So from there, let's go ahead and talk about the camera arm. So this is probably the cheapest camera arm on the market, and you're probably looking at it going, it don't look like the cheapest camera arm. It seriously is. This is the cheapest Muddy brand camera arm you can purchase. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called it's the Muddy It's the cheapest one. Just go to Amazon, Google, type in Muddy camera arm, and go look at the one that's like $25. This is it. It's got a fluid head. You know, I can do panning motions. There was a little bit of interfacing here that I had to kind of learn about with my particular camera setup. But this thing, I mean, you can tell, like, listen to this. Zero noise. I can flex this thing out. I can go all the way around the tree. I can film a deer coming in, swing around, all the way back around. It does it all, and it's quiet, it's good. I don't have to worry about it. If I drop it out of the tree, if I lose it, it's 25 bucks. I'm not worried about it. So, camera arm, paint it. You don't want a shiny black thing up there, especially if a deer skylights you. You want something camouflage, so of course, I did the sponge paint job. This is probably the biggest thing to this whole system here, is making sure you have a really nice ratchet system for this camera arm, because if you get a little bit of weight out there, if you are a guy that shoots with a bigger lens, you want a nice ratcheting system. So I can take this buckle, really tighten this thing over, and you're good to go. Kind of a little bit of a redneck engineering here with this loop. Like I said, your mileage may vary. This camera arm's been great for me, 25 bucks. I was like, I'm sold, get me another one. So, going up the tree, you're gonna have to have something to hang your backpack off of. So your bow, your quiver, your rangefinder, water bottle, all that stuff. There's a ton of options out there. Innovating the Outdoors is a 3D printed company. This is one of their first models. I actually did a whole separate video on this bow accessory holder system. So this is, again, AM steel. It's super lightweight. It doesn't make a lot of noise. These are 3D printed plastic parts. I hang my bow off this, no problem. You can see I could probably hang my entire body weight off this if I needed to. Holds a bow, no problem. You've got some accessory hooks that come with it. If I can slide this over, get this in the frame. There's an accessory hook. You can hang a water bottle, a jacket, whatever you want to. It's got 3 of these. Talk about packability. I can pack this thing up into the size of like a deck of cards and throw that in my pocket. I usually carry that in my saddle, so it's always on me in case I forget my backpack or I'm in a super lightweight mode. I'm not carrying a camera arm, I'm not carrying snacks, I'm just going in for an afternoon. That's a great option to have something to hang your stuff on, because you want to be hands-free. You want to be able to grab a grunt call, rattling horns, rangefinder, quiver, whatever you need. This is going to save your life. There's buckle systems. There's the his strap from Tethered. Hang your shit is what it stands for. Hang your stuff. But I like this system. Like I said, packability. It's quiet. Game changer. This is a trophy line. Gosh, man, I don't even remember what model this is. You remember what model this is? Cameraman?
Maybe a vintage.
I'm not sure. The main thing you need to know is this is still the saddle that you can purchase right now from Trophy Line. It's a great saddle. It's vented in the back. Again, you can see where I hang my platform on the back with these molly loops. So I've got a piece of 550. I've got orange, so it's high vis. Nothing fancy here, guys. A lot of this stuff you'll find in the saddle world is what they call DIY, where you get the tinker, you can shrink wrap, you can paracord, you can heat shrink, you can make your own tether, which we'll get into in a minute. But anyway, the base saddle in this thing is super, super nice. It's lightweight. Like I said, for early season, it's meshed, so it breathes when you got your sweaty butt up in a tree after climbing 16, 17 foot. I did keep the lineman's belt. This is the lineman's belt that I've got on the side. This was obviously part of your climbing method. This is the one that came from Tethered, a really high quality. What kind of millimeter is this? Probably an 11 millimeter rope. So this is not fancy like AM steel. You could probably get an AM steel one. I don't know of a company that makes one yet, but this is a good option. It came with the saddle. I'm rocking it. I did upgrade to a mechanical Prusik knot, which is called a Ropeman 1. Highly, highly, highly recommend this. So when I'm up on the tree, no matter what size, I can grab it, instantly shrink it down, grab this, shrink it back out. It's quiet, it's safer. This is actually what people go like mountain climbing, spelunking, if you're exploring caves, whatever you do. The Ropeman 1 is great. They make a Ropeman 2. It chews up your lineman's rope a little bit more. The Ropeman 1's great. These are like, what, 50, 60 bucks on Amazon? 45 to 50 bucks, find on sale. It's a great option. I highly recommend the Ropeman 1 if you're looking to upgrade a saddle part this summer. So, moving on into it, I didn't like the bridge that came with the saddle, just because I like how easy this AM steel bridge is to slide. So again, guys, you kind of see a theme here. Super stealthy, super quiet. I can swing on a deer, move my hips, and I can make that shot if I had to. So adjustable amp steel bridge. I'm not sure the name of the company here. I'll probably link that in the description below. This was a DIY amp steel kit that came in a bridge. I think this is like 45, 40 bucks. Again, not gonna break the bank. I don't like a whole lot of saddlebags on my stuff, so this is the tethered, just the side saddlebag that they sell. I usually keep, when I'm climbing down the tree, I'll either shove this Innovating Outdoors hanger in here. I'll shove my pull-up rope, which is actually another thing you guys should have, a cheap DIY pull-up rope. Shove that in there, whatever you want to, in the saddlebag. But again, looking on the buckles, we've done a DIY thing, doing a tape on the zippers, because you don't want to be climbing up a tree making noises. It's quiet, you know, you're not going to be doing this up in the tree, but obviously this is just another tip there. Do the, what is this called? Camouflage wrap, cling wrap. Any kind of silencing wrap that you want to put on these. This is like the cheapy stuff you get from Academy, the self-clinging cloth tape. I put it on my camera actually all the time, but put that on your buckles, you'll be good to go.
You can tell, guys, this is August.
Yeah.
Daniel is on fire. He's smoking right now. It's got smoke coming off.
We got smoke rolling off my bag. And it's for you guys, so make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, so we've got a, this is just the, what am I trying to say here? Carabiner. This is a locking carabiner. So this is the one that came with my tethered, I'm not tethered, my trophy line system. You've got a locking nut that slides down. So when you get up in the tree and you actually clip into your tether, you want to go ahead and slide that thing all the way down. Make sure you're safe. That way if you're hunting, you're not going to bump it. You're going to be totally fine. Also a great thing to hang a backpack off of. If you're hanging stuff like a hand muff, a jacket, you can use this carabiner while you're up there. Not only going to hold you, it'll hold all kind of stuff. So it just think of ways to use stuff in other ways. Utility, using all your parts. So the tether that came with my system was this thick. Now you can use a rope like this, and as you get more comfortable, you'll find that when you get done hunting, this is a pain in the ass to put all of this in your pocket at one time. You got this, a lineman's belt, you've got other ropes you're using. So this is good for a lineman's belt. I like it because it makes me feel safe, but when I get up in a tree, I don't need something that thick, something that can go in my pocket. So you're saying, you're going to Home Depot and buying a rope and making a tether. That's not the case. We go to REI. It's a climbing store. It's a place that sells rated climbing cordage for people that do this as recreational other than saddle hunting. And they see a lot of saddle guys actually. When you go in there and say, I need, how many feet do we buy, Dad? 11 foot, 12 foot?
Yeah, about 12 feet.
Buy about 12 feet of this. It'll cost you $8 to $9. It'll blow your mind how cheap this is. This is a 8 millimeter, I believe. Now you'll notice it's kind of a funky color. It doesn't matter. It's going to be up in a tree with you. If a deer gets close enough to see the color of your tether, now if it's blaze orange or pink or something, obviously, to see the color of your tether here, you need to probably shoot him, or something needs to go on. I shrink wrap the bottom. I put a couple of double knots in here, so in case your tether, your prusik knot fails and you slide all the way down, you've got something that catches you, just a built-in safety thing that you need to do. Do research on this. Type in DIY tether. There's a ton of videos on making this. Feel comfortable, use it at ground level, and get used to it. So, tether here, I've got a simple, just a one loop system going through. You can double this up on a smaller tree, so I could have made this tether go all the way back around, back to the loop, and I would have had a double knot around the tree. You're not going anywhere. You can hang a Mack truck off of this stuff. So, a prusik knot, a little bit smaller, still from REI. I think I got another 5 to 6 foot of this. I think it's like 10 bucks. I made my own prusik knot. Trust me, I've climbed on this. It's fine. Learn the knots, learn the system. That's kind of the fun of all this, making your own stuff. And I can pack all this stuff in my pocket. That's my system. We're going to switch now. Dad's going to put all his stuff on here, go through his complete tip to tail saddle hunting, mobile hunting system. And stay tuned, guys. Got a lot more for you.
Hey guys, this is my name's Dewayne Groce. I am Daniel's dad. This is my system. I started out with a used system off of saddlehunter.com, and I've upgraded through the years. This year I'm using the T1 tethered 1 sticks. I am trying out a 3-step aider. It's just a cheap one. off of Amazon.com. I've upgraded a little bit, put some PVC pipe in it to stiffen up the steps on it. Hadn't really hunted with it yet. This is the reason we're doing this. We're out in the yard tinkering around, just trying it out. This is I'm using an Arrow Hunter Flex saddle, same one I bought. I really like it. I made my own climbing rope. It's 8mm. I'm using the Ropeman 1 Ascender, and this is kind of ground level getting started. Got my bow here. I just got a Doyle's hoist in one of my pouches. Just tied on. I'll just leave my backpack on. Just go on all the way up with it.
So tell them what the advantage is to why they would want an aider on their very first step.
Well, the advantage of it's just ground level. If you fall from here, you're probably not going to get hurt too bad. A lot of guys use movable aiders. I hadn't ever tried those, but just seems a little bit more dangerous to me being up hunting height or climbing using them. Now, I've used the wire rope aiders on the individual sticks. I really like those. They stiff, but they do add weight. When you get up to your third step, guys, even though we're at ground level, going to put my platform on, still attached. I'm standing on my top of my third step. That's whenever I go ahead and put my fourth step on, and then I've got my Predator platform in one of the Predator packs. Just reach back there and get it.
But what he's talking about is that tethered pack specific for that platform. Of course, you could use it for anything that fits in there, but it's super easy for him to reach back there and grab when he's up in the tree.
Then you want to set up. You want the tree between you and where the deer are coming from. So I always like putting my platform at my top stick, just where I can step around on it.
And while you're doing that, tell them that don't look like an out-of-the-box platform there. What kind of mods have you done to that thing?
I just wrapped it with some paracord just to give a little bit more traction. This is one of the first Predator platforms. They've upgraded them since then. They got better traction on them now. Again, I just got this off of a Saddle Hunter, and one of the guys was upgrading and got a real good deal in it. Just want to make sure and don't get your platform on your ropes, because it would probably nick and cut that. So just want to make sure that that's good.
Because you're also using what to attach that stick to the tree?
I'm using just the a buckle system, cinch buckle. I hadn't upgraded to the AmSeal bridges or the AmSeal.
Tell them about this tip. This is something we found out together.
Yeah, anybody that's using the buckle systems, you can take a piece of inner tube, bicycle inner tube, cut it 2.5 inches. It's pretty hard to get it put on there, but you can put soap, water, whatever you need to get it to slide on there. But it really helps out on if anything to touch it. If you hit it, bump it against the platform or whatever. But whenever you get up to hunting height, I always like to put on my my tether, and I don't use a pouch system because I try to keep my backpack on. I just try to be fluid whenever I get to the tree. And I've got a North Mountain Gear leafy suit, and it's got a kangaroo pocket, and I like using it for my phone. Got my tether, got my hiss strap, got all my little goodies in here. A little bit more organized and not tangled up like this during hunting season. You kind of want it to come out the way you want it to go on the tree.
But what Dad is saying, guys, so instead of using a side saddle bag and having the whole side of his system cluttered up, this North Mountain Gear pullover, shout out to Spencer and North Mountain Gear, but having that in a central location, center of your body line, stuff coming out in order, going on the tree, it is going to save you a ton of time and effort in the dark, in the afternoon, whatever, because when you're at hunting height, when you're up there, you do not have time for mistakes, and it'll make you nervous. doing this for the first time, so being comfortable, knowing your system is probably the whole point of this video.
And for as safety goes, it's just better the more ropes attached, the safer you are, especially whenever you're transferring over to your platform. So you just reach in, put your tether on. You can slide this up as you go. You don't have to have it where you're going to hunt with it at. I've got, so whenever you're transferring over, you own your stick. You got to find a happy medium place for your, where you want your tether to go. I kind of go nose, in between foreheads, somewhere in there. I'm more of a leaner than a sitter. Everybody's got their own preference. Of course, if you hunt very long, you will want to rest your knees and rest you know, just swap around stuff. But usually with my tag in, I just try to get it out of the way, just where it won't be banging around stuff. They do this first before you bring anything up. I like putting this up a little bit higher than my my loop on my tether. Some people put it lower, some just on what your preference is. And I always just stay totally hooked up the whole time. I mean, whole time I'm getting all this set up.
And the good part about having his strap for his gear out now is so when he starts taking stuff out of his pack, he's got a place to put it, because that's you want your hands free in this whole entire situation. You want your hands free, you want stuff go specific places where you know it is. Like I keep my bow on this side, my horns, my rangefinder, whatever the case may be. But you really like that his strap, don't you?
Yeah, it's got a lot of loops. You can move stuff around. I bought some of the plastic carabiners, the Night Eyes. You can took one of the springs off. You can just put the spring on.
Got a bow hanger.
Got an open hook. Okay, guys, we're back. We got everything started. Use sys strap. Put my backpack in front of me. That way you got access to it. You can. I just use like a rucksack from Cabela's. I really like it. You got your attachments to put sticks on top, on bottom. The backpack of it is where I got my tethered Predator pack. And put that there. Bow on my Doyle's hoist. Just pull my bow up. It retracts. Just let it go all the way in. And I use the Kydex.
Kydex, yeah.
Made my own bow hanger. I got it from Greg from Tethered on the G1. If you want to know how to make that, I just take my also got one on my quiver. But with that his strap, just hang your bow right up there, right where you want it. And same thing on the other side. Hang your quiver over. I don't use the knee pads. It's got a strap. You put it around the tree. Probably need to do it after you put your platform on before you actually get in up here, because it's kind of hard to get down.
Just kind of show them what you mean, like lean into it like you were using it.
You just kind of use it as get where you're comfortable.
And that is a lifesaver, guys, especially if you're going to be anything past 12 o'clock. If you're like that, daylight to 3 o'clock guy, or you come out for lunch and go back in the afternoon, or maybe you sit all day when it's the rut and you can't miss any action. That thing, it may be DIY, it may be like a $10 one you buy at Walmart. The thermo seats, they are a lifesaver.
Even the knee pads, the garden knee pads, they're the right size, that you can just add a strap to it or a hanging system on that. But like I said, I use a Ropeman one. I use it on my lineman's belt, and it's like instead of using the pouches, I've usually got good pockets on. I just put a stretchy cord around it, shock cord, put it in a pocket, and it's out of my way. and hunting all day, you just want to make some changes. I like my platform pretty angled because I normally do lean. Even whenever I hunted out of a summit stand, I always stood up and leaned against a tree, or just kind of rested my legs every now and then with my back to the tree, which this is the opposite from a tree stand because you got the tree in between you and where the deer hopefully will come from. But you can move around. Everybody, as far as the putting, you can get a little bit higher if you want to put your platform above your last stick, but I like having that stick to step around on. Kind of gives you another angle where you can get turned around. It's not quite level where I like it at, but it's just another place you can move around. I love it. I've hunted out of homemade bakers. I go back pretty far. I started hunting whenever I was 6 years old. My dad taking me gun hunting, and I'm 60 now, so I've been after it a while. But I didn't know about the saddle until a friend of mine. We went to Ohio and he hunted out of a saddle, and he met me one day in a nearby town, let me try it out, and I started hunting one. Got in it at a reasonable price. I have upgraded my sticks. Started out with Muddy Pros that come with the setup at the guy that I got it from, and then I went to the Hawk Heliums, and then I went to the Skeletors, and then I went on up to the T1s. T1s are pricey. The Skeletors with that wire rope aider on there is a good deal. They're not economy price, $200 I think you can get a set for, maybe $225. But I really like they got the sticks figured out. Throughout the day, you can just grab and hold and tighten up that ropeman one, or loosen it up. If you're going to sit, you just want to cup you, pull your saddle down and get comfortable. A lot of people sit, but I've always hunted standing, so I'm more comfortable shooting standing than I am sitting. I have got caught sitting whenever I was hunting in a stand and had to shoot sitting down because you just couldn't move. But hunting and the right setup, you can see the deer coming, you can kind of position yourself. But whenever you get up there close, you can just reach up, get your bow. Of course, you already got your arrow. I got an ant wanting to be shot out through there. But reach up, get your bow. You already got your arrow knocked. You just turn, do what you need to do. But I really like that Kydex hookup. They sell some that's already made that you don't, if you're not comfortable making your own. But get that Kydex off of Amazon. I think it's 6x12 sheets. Just cut it, heat it, bend it, mount it. But the way I've got mine set up, you can still use. I've got one of these older hookups on here, but it's quickie quiver, and it just goes. Everything's just right in place. Which I don't hunt with my quiver. I always take it off. Take it apart. Hang the bow. Hang your quiver. Said I was 60 years old. Not in the best shape. I drive a truck for a living. But that's where you need to get out here and practice climb your trees. I'm 60, but I know guys that's 70 that's doing it off of YouTube. So you're not too old to try it out. A lot of people, not comfortable doing it, but man, I love it. I really, really enjoy hunting out of the saddle.
All right, guys, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed the entire full system mobile hunting system. Me and Dad out here in the late July heat in North Georgia. So this video was for you guys. We are sweating our tails off. Hope you got some tips and tricks. Hope you saw something that maybe you can apply to your system. If you're a new guy, just like Dad said, get out there, hunt, Get in your saddle right now. You don't want to be doing this opening day in the dark. It's not safe. Also, in case you're wondering, just a real quick disclaimer, this is at your own risk, guys. This stuff that we're doing, the DIY ropes, any of this stuff, even if you buy it from a company, it is on you. Liability is on you guys. So make sure you're safe. Follow all of the manufacturer's suggestions as far as climbing. Use best safe practices, and don't take any of this stuff that you see us using, me or Dad, as gospel. Try it for yourself. Be safe out there, and get out there and practice before deer season gets here. And follow us on IG, MojoBuck80, the Part-Time Hunter Podcast, right here. We're going to link it for you in the description. Go check it out. A lot of great content coming for you later on in the fall and winter. And you guys, as always, we'll catch you on the next one.